Let's look at the next question that we have. So this next question over here, it says to us that the comparative bar graph, so already this bar graph has been given a name there. Okay, I don't like how I'm just closing that word. There we go. It's a thick pen. Comparative bar graph shows the national registration statistics of the population of South Africa for both male and female. So we can see here is statistics of the population of South Africa. So we've got there our census, I think that's what you would call it. So we've got the females on the side and the males on the side, and then we've got the age group in the middle over there. So age group in this particular case, you can see they've made it intervals. What is an interval? An interval is from a particular place to a particular place. Or in this particular example, it's from 18 years to 19 years of age. So you can see that the females between 18 and 19 were 136,897, and the males were 109,224. So this is the national registration statistics of the population of Southern Africa. 20 to 29, the numbers grow bigger and bigger and bigger. 2,902,125. 125 to the other side, 2,443,115. 115. The numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger, as I am saying. Know how to say those numbers, know how to write the number out, because it's very, very important. You do not want to be caught wanting, because sometimes you can be asked to write a certain number out in words. So you don't want to make that particular mistake. What type of graph is this? We haven't been asked what type of graph it is, but I am saying to you guys, it's written there and it's saying to us it's a comparative bar graph. What makes it a comparative bar graph? You're comparing two statistics to each other, male and female, within the same context. So the first question then says to us, study the graph above and answer the questions that follow. Did you see how I always go and analyze the graph itself way before I start answering any questions? So the first question then says to us, write down the age group in which the second highest number of female voters have registered. Let's go in. Let's go look at it. So it means I'm going to be focusing on this side, and they are looking here for the second highest. And in order for me to find the second highest, it means I need to find the highest. And this is the bar that is giving me over there as number 1. So what would the second highest be? The second highest for me now would be between this bar and that bar over there. And then what would the next thing be that I am looking at? So they both 2 million. I'm covering, as I said, shouldn't be doing. They both 2 million. But then what is the next number that then follows? Because, okay, they both 2 million. So what? Then the next thing that we can look at is the next number. Here we can see it's a 9 and here is an 8, because these bars look almost equal to each other, okay? So what can we do now? Now we can make our conclusion that this is going to be the second highest. And the question here is saying that write down the age group. So the age group in this particular case, let's write that down. The age group is then going to be 20 to 29. That is going to be the age group that they are looking for. Okay, so the second question then says to us, calculate the number of male voters under the age of 40 years. So in this particular case, it's any male voter under the age of 40 years. Let's go look at that particular one. So with this one, anything under 40 is going to be from here to here. That's anything under 40. So what do we need to do? We need to calculate the number of voters, okay? So we need to also include them over there. let's add these numbers. This is what is expected of you. What is expected of you is to take the numbers and add them to get the marks. That's 109,224 plus 2,443,115 plus 3,095,538. What do we do now? Calculator. Simple. Do not walk into an exam without a calculator, guys. Wow, I've seen people doing miracles. Do not walk into an exam without a calculator. I'm telling you now, do not practice for an exam without using a calculator. I don't know how people want to practice for an exam without a calculator, walk into an exam, and then expect to understand what is happening with a device they have not been using. Do that. Okay, let's see how the numbers. There we go. That's 5,647,000. That's going to be 5,647,877. Okay, so that's the males. That's not a unit of measurement, so you don't really have to write that down, okay? Because I know I'm very about units of measurement. You need to be writing your unit of measurement. The next question says to us, write down in words the number of male voters in the 40 to 49 age group. Look at that. Look at that. I had not seen this question. Now we need to go write it out in words. Let's go see. It says 40 to 49. So I'm going to write the number out first, and then we're going to write it in words. So if you write it out first, 40 to 49, it's 2,553,636. So what learners like doing when they call out numbers is that they'll say 2,553,635. Don't do that. Learn how to call it out so that you can know how to write it. So what is that going to be? 2 million, my spelling, comma, 500, don't put a comma, and 53,000, comma. So where there's an and, don't put a comma, okay? You only put a comma where you would pause. So if I'm saying a number and I pause, I put a comma because comma indicates that I'm pausing. 600, don't put a comma because I'm putting and. You could practice that out, guys. 636. Yes. Did you see what happened there? What happened is that we were asked to write out the number in words. So you do not want to be caught wanting when it comes to such things. Let's look at the next question. It says, state whether the data in the graph is discrete or continuous. This is another thing that you guys need to know. The difference between discrete data and continuous data. Now I'm scratching at the back of my head trying to remember what discrete data is and what continuous data is. Relax. Discrete data is not small data. That's what learners like saying, small data. No, it's not small data. Discrete data is whole numbers. It's numbers that you can categorize. A person is discrete data because a person doesn't have a comma or a person is not a fraction. And then continuous data is normally your fractions and numbers that continue after the comma. If there's a comma or if it's fractions, then we know that that is going to be continuous data. For me, I always say it continues after the comma. Measurement can be continuous, okay? Your length, if you're measuring someone's height, that is continuous, guys. So let's see what type of data this is. Firstly, the first clue, it's people. Can a person Can a person be a fraction? No. People are whole numbers, and people can be categorized. And in this case, they have been categorized, and there are no commas in our numbers. This means that it's discrete data. And in this particular question, you weren't even asked for an explanation. Sometimes they can say to you, state whether the data is discrete or continuous, and then they say, why? Elaborate. Say why you're saying that. Okay? Let's answer that. So that is number 4. It's discrete data. Okay, I'm writing it in small letters. How do we spell discrete? That's discrete data. That is 2 marks. Guys, know the common things. The nice thing is that there's common things. And the moment you familiarize yourself with the common things, it becomes so much easier. Let's look at the last question. This is a very interesting one, and it's one of those ones where you're just getting so much marks. And also, it's paper 1. I just want to warn you that in terms of paper 1, you find mostly level 1 and level 2 questions, meaning it's going to be easier questions. So you want to take all the marks that you can get from paper 1, so that when you go into question 2 and you get the same graph, and now you're being asked different types of questions, that you don't panic because you've collected all your marks in your paper 1. Just a little hint over there. Calculate the difference between the total number of male and female voters. That's going to be very easy. All we're doing is calculating, we're adding the 2 totals. So we've been told that females have a total of 14,442,779. You see, know your numbers, guys. Know your numbers. It shouldn't be a struggle. Males, 11,779,561. I'm going to add those 2 numbers together, and I am going to use a calculator. So they want to see you adding those 2 numbers, 14,442,779 plus 11,797,561. Let's go slot that in. So the first one is 14,442,779 plus 11,797,561. That gives us a lekker big number, 26,240,000. I write that in portions. 26 million, I forgot that, 240,340. That is going to be the total of people.